Hi there. Today we're going to explore the plot of the 2022 film, The Weekend Away.
Okay, woo! That's it.
Hope you brought your swimsuit.
I think I forgot.
Well, you'll just have to go naked.
One night of excitement might bring you out of your rut.
We were just saying how you should come back to us.
Beth arrives in Croatia from London for a weekend to visit her best friend Kate. Local taxi driver Zane helps her get there and leaves his business card in case she needs a ride again. Kate has rented a luxurious apartment for the occasion, using her ex-husband Jay's credit card, but more on that later. For now, the girls are drinking champagne, and Beth gifts Kate a black onyx necklace she bought online, from which a bead immediately falls off. After a call with her husband Rob, who stayed in London with their young daughter, the girls head out to party, running into the apartment owner Sebastian on their way. Kate reveals that she's currently living it up on her ex-husband's credit card after catching him cheating and is now having fun with other guys. Beth mentions that things are also rocky between her and Rob. He hasn't been around for a year. When it turns out that Kate's ex has blocked the credit card, Beth covers the bill, telling her friend she can pay her back at the bar, where they definitely need to find some guys.
Let's relive our misspent youth. It took me months to convince you to come away. Who knows when we're going to do it again? Come on!
Zane drives them to the bar, mentioning along the way that he fled the war in Syria to come here. Beth responds that she once helped Syrian refugees find housing. At the bar, the girls meet two handsome guys who buy them drinks. Kate suggests they all continue the party back at her place. Beth wakes up the next day around noon with no memory of the previous night. The apartment shows signs of a party, but Kate is nowhere to be found, and she's not answering her phone. Rob asks Beth if they argued last night. They conclude that if they didn't, Kate will probably show up soon. Beth goes to see Sebastian, but he hasn't seen Kate either. However, he reminds her that bringing guys back to the apartment is against the rules, so she'll have to pay a fine.
You're not allowed to have parties. It says so very clearly in the rules. And I have to charge you for the 2 extra guests that stayed over.
Beth reports Kate's disappearance to the police, but Detective Pavic says they can only start searching after 24 hours. Maybe Kate will return on her own. Beth then calls Zane, tells him about Kate's disappearance, and asks him to drive her to the bar where they were last night. Once there, she unsuccessfully tries to get information from the bartender. Unexpectedly, Zane helps out and finds out that the 2 guys were locals, Matteo and Luca, hired by Kate. That night, Beth calls her husband and tells him she's staying longer in Croatia to figure out what happened to her friend, even though Rob isn't happy about it. Later, Beth finds the guys on social media and informs Zane. The taxi driver pretends to be a client and arranges a meeting with them at a cafe. During the conversation, it comes to light that Beth and Rob were introduced by Kate. When Matteo and Luca arrive and recognize Beth, they immediately run away. Zane manages to catch one of them, who reveals that Kate hired them, and they parted ways at 3 a.m. They took her purse and pawned it, but haven't seen her since. Beth retrieves the purse, with the phone inside dead, and heads to the police station. Zane asks her not to mention his name to avoid issues with his visa. Detective Kovac is surprised to learn that her colleague Pavic did not file a missing person report and takes over the case.
This is a real Dior. It's worth around 10,000 euro. And they admitted they stole it and then gave it back to you.
I explained Kate was missing, and I told them I wouldn't go to the police if they gave it back to me.
She sends Beth for a medical examination to make sure she's okay. Beth calls Kate's ex, Jay, but he says he hasn't spoken to her in 2 weeks, meaning Kate was talking to someone else on the phone at the restaurant. He also says that disappearing suddenly is typical for Kate, so there's no need to worry. Returning to the apartment, Beth realizes that the rental period has ended, and new tenants will move in soon. Sebastian offers her another place to stay in one of his apartments, until she finds her friend and gives her a room downstairs. That night, Beth plans to go out with Zane to continue searching for Kate, but her husband Rob unexpectedly shows up, saying he left their daughter at home with a nanny. Zane drives off, and Rob scolds Beth for planning to get into a car with a possible suspect in Kate's disappearance. However, when Beth breaks down, he comforts her. Soon, they learn that Kate has been found. Her body was discovered in the water, However, it's still unclear whether she drowned or was murdered. Beth decides to stay in town to wait for the autopsy results, while her distressed husband returns to London.
What are you doing?
Couldn't sleep. I keep seeing her. I feel bad, for finding her annoying. I should have been nicer.
That evening, Beth asks Pavic to take her to the morgue to say goodbye to Kate. When she is alone with her friend's body, she uses Kate's face to unlock her smartphone. Later, Beth is shocked to discover that Kate was arguing with Rob on the phone at the restaurant. She also finds messages between them, revealing an affair in which Kate pressured Rob to leave his wife. The next news is that both Beth and Kate were found to have the same drug in their systems, but Matteo and Luca have a solid alibi. Bar patrons saw them until morning. Beth recalls that she and Kate argued over continuing the party in the apartment with the guys, but now she becomes a suspect herself. Beth tells Zane everything and realizes that the drug may have been slipped to her by Kate to provoke her into cheating so that Rob would leave her. When Rob calls, Beth can't hold it in any longer and confronts him about the affair. Rob admits to everything.
I know, Rob, about you and Kate, that you were sleeping with her for months. Stop. Treated me like an idiot. I found the text messages on her phone.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry.
I just want to see Aster.
The next morning, Beth is suddenly arrested, and at the police station, she is shown a photo of her and Zane. It turns out he has connections to the Albanian mafia, which is involved in human trafficking. The police suspect that Beth hired Zane, a Syrian man, to kill her friend, who was her husband's lover. A lawyer gets Beth released temporarily, warning her that it's only because the police don't have enough evidence against her yet. Returning to the apartment, Beth finds Zane there. He claims that Sebastian let him in and explains that in Syria, he was a doctor and saved the life of an Albanian boy. The boy's father later helped him escape illegally to Croatia, and that's the extent of his connection to the mafia. Left alone, Beth starts thinking about how the police found out about her husband's affair, something she never mentioned to them. She suddenly discovers a hidden camera in the mirror of her room, which may have recorded her conversation with Rob. Beth remembers seeing Pavic talking to Sebastian and takes the opportunity to steal a key to the landlord's apartment. Inside, she finds a surveillance room with screens showing footage from cameras placed in various apartments. Beth reviews the footage from Friday and learns that after returning from the bar, she was simply put to bed. Meanwhile, Kate and the guys moved to the jacuzzi on the balcony. When Kate went to the bathroom, the guys stole her purse and ran off. Noticing her purse was missing, Kate ran outside and chased after them in a taxi. However, she returned in a different car with a distinctive bumper sticker. Suddenly, Sebastian returns, and Beth tries to sneak out. He starts making excuses, saying the cameras were for security while he tries to erase the footage. When he regains consciousness, Beth escapes the apartment and meets Zane. She tells him that the landlord was secretly spying on tenants, but now all the footage is gone, and she could now be accused of assaulting him. With the car's number she memorized from the footage, they head to the taxi depot. The news is already reporting that Beth is now a fugitive. They find the driver who picked up Kate after she chased the guys. He says he only drove her to the police station.
If Kate reported her bag stolen, why wasn't there a record of it when I went to report her missing?
Maybe it never got filed.
Pavic didn't file my report either.
We need to get out of here.
Suddenly, the police arrive, including Pavic, whose car bears the distinctive bumper sticker. Beth and Zane flee, narrowly escaping the trap. After losing the police, Beth tells Zane about Pavic's car, which might be connected to Kate's murder. Zane decides to distract the police to give Beth a chance to escape. This only works partially, and Pavic continues to pursue Beth, chasing her onto the rooftop of a building. Beth yells that Pavic killed her friend because he likely harassed her, and Kate rejected him. Pavic calls Kate a tramp, but when another officer arrives, he accidentally slips and falls to his death. The next morning, Kovac informs Beth that they managed to recover some footage from Sebastian's cameras and street cameras. They confirm that Pavic did try to speak with Kate after she reported her purse missing. When she refused to talk to him, he hit her on the head and threw her into the water. Kovac also reveals that Pavic had previously worked in the Vice Squad, where several women had complained about him, but all later withdrew their statements. Matteo and Luca were found with the same drug, but it didn't affect Kate, Beth says goodbye to Zane, thanking him for his help.
Are you okay?
Thank you.
And returns to London. After divorcing Rob, she agrees to let him see their daughter occasionally. During one of those visits, Beth asks Rob to return her car keys. He asks her to check the pocket of his jacket. When she does, she unexpectedly finds a black onyx bead, the one that fell off the necklace she had given to Kate in Croatia. Beth goes to the bathroom and tries to call Kovac, but Rob interrupts her. He walks in, and Beth immediately accuses him of killing Kate, showing him the bead. Rob is forced to confess. He was afraid Beth would find out about the affair, so he flew to Kate that night to beg her to keep quiet. It turns out Kate had indeed demanded that he divorce Beth, but only because Rob had become obsessed with her after their brief fling and was pressuring her for more. Kate didn't want someone like Rob for her best friend. During the argument, Rob pushed Kate, causing her to hit her head on a rock and fall into the water. Now he begs Beth not to turn him in, calling it an accident. But Beth shows him her phone, where Kovac's voice can be heard saying that she has recorded everything and has already called the police. In the end, Beth fights off Rob's attempts to stop her, grabs her daughter, and walks out as police sirens approach the house. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.